Hey there, it's been a while, hasn't it? I apologise for not making any content recently, but it's been a pretty hectic few months for me. So, getting right into things, as usual we'll be looking at how custom specials could work in Ultimate. I'm still going in order of character release, so if there's a character I've already done, you can check those out in previous episodes. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get started.
King Dedede!
King Dedede was actually one of the easiest characters to do. That's because he features in a game called Kirby Fighters and Kirby Fighters 2, which is basically a Smash Bros style Kirby game. So for his neutral special, it would be Hammer Wave. This is basically his regular side smash, however it will be slightly faster and it will cause a star-like projectile to come out of his mallet. Hammer? Mallet? I don't know. Whatever. This will deal additional damage to opponents if they're hit by it, however getting hit by the mallet itself would deal the most damage. His side special would be Waddle Dee and Waddle Doo. This is basically his original side special from Brawl, where he threw out a Waddle Dee or Waddle Doo as well as Gordos like he does normally now. However, the Waddle Dee and Waddle Doo was taken out because they're just kinda slow, whereas the Gordo is much more powerful. The Waddle Dees and Doos will do the same thing as they did in Brawl, with the Waddle Dee just slowly walking around and knocking into opponents, dealing a little bit of damage, and the Waddle Doo using an electric attack. The Waddle Doo has about a 20% chance of appearing instead of the Waddle Dee, and you can only have 2 of them on the stage at a time. For his up special, he would use Super Mallet Slam. I just made up the name for this attack, but the attack originally comes from Kirby Mass Attack. King Dedede would jump into the air and slam his mallet back into the ground, kinda similar to Ike, but obviously much more powerful and going slightly higher. His down special would be Dedede Hammer Throw, which is from Kirby Fighters 2. Here he'll throw his hammer across the ground as a projectile, doing multi-hitting damage and dragging opponents far away. The hammer will then come back to him and he'll be able to attack like normal. Think of this similar to Pyra's side special where she throws her sword, but here the mallet will be facing downwards and it won't take up that much vertical range.
Olimar!
The whole Pikmin mechanic makes making moves for Olimar pretty difficult, and because of this, most of the moves are very similar but with different variations. To start with, as you know, Alph is Olimar's costume. However, originally in Smash 4, he was meant to be a separate fighter, with him being able to throw rock Pikmin instead of purple Pikmin. So here I would like to bring that mechanic back. Olimar's new neutral special would be Bulbin Plug. Here, instead of being able to pick up red, yellow, blue, white and purple Pikmin, you would keep the red, yellow and blue, but the white and purple will change to rock and Bulbins. If you don't know, Bulbins are basically regular Bulborgs, but they're for some reason Pikmin. It's not really explained in the Pikmin series, and I think they only turned up in Pikmin 2. I haven't played Pikmin 3 yet, so I'm not sure. And rock Pikmin are pretty self-explanatory. They're basically purple Pikmin but slightly stronger. So yeah, the move would work the same way as the regular move, with Olimar or Alph plucking one of these Pikmin types out of the ground to use in battle. The rock Pikmin will be similar to purple Pikmin where they can't grab anything but they will deal a lot of damage when thrown, and the Bulbins would just bite instead of actually grabbing onto someone. Side special would be Charge. This will cause all available Pikmin next to you to charge forward at an opponent, and grabbing them if they reach one. This is similar to the Swarm mechanic from the older games. Honestly, it's just a different variation of the throw that they have for the regular side special, but instead of throwing one, you're basically throwing all. For up special, they would use Captain Throw. In Pikmin 3, you can play as 3 different captains at once, with you being able to send them for different tasks. However, if 2 captains are together, one captain can actually throw the other. This would be the up special, with, I don't know what the name is, but you know, the big green guy from Pikmin 3. So he would actually throw Olimar or Alph upwards, sending them up into the air and causing them to go into free fall afterwards. Down special would be Ultra Spicy Whistle. Obviously I had to keep the whistle mechanic, but I needed it to change it in some way. So I decided to include the ultra spicy nectar as part of this move. Usually when you whistle, all your Pikmin will come back to you no matter where they are. However here, the whistle will only have limited range, about half the size of Battlefield, meaning you have to be pretty close for this to work. However, when you call back your Pikmin, they would be imbued with the ultra spicy berry. I think it's called berry, I'm not sure. This would make all of their flowers grow and power them up for a short time. I know this doesn't really seem like a good idea, but it's the only thing I can come up with, honestly.
Lucario!
Just a quick reminder that all of Lucario's attacks will be affected by aura, the same way as his regular ones. The more damage he takes, the more powerful they get. His neutral special would be Dark Pulse. This is a projectile like his regular neutral special, but it would be more purple in colour and it would be more beam-like instead of a circle. Side special would be Close Combat. This is a Marth side special like attack where the more you press the button, the more attacks would come out. Lucario would do 2 punches and then 2 kicks, with the last kick dealing the most damage and the most knockback. His up special would be Bone Rush. Lucario would take out a glowing bone and then hit opponents with it up to 5 times while dashing forward, or in whatever direction you hold the stick. I'm not entirely sure why Lucario has a bone hiding somewhere that he can just pull out whenever he wants, but he does this a lot in the anime apparently, so like, sure, whatever you want mate. For his down special, it would be Feint. This is similar to his regular double team counter move, however it won't do as much damage as the regular counter, but instead it would practically annihilate any shield that it hits. This move would activate even if there's no move to counter, and would see Lucario travel forward. However, if you do counter a move, you can travel forwards or backwards in a similar way to double team. And as I said, it would just destroy any shields that it's hit. As usual, I don't really know that much about Pokemon, I haven't really played any of the games, and I'm just getting all of these moves from the wiki. If you have any other ideas for Lucario, make sure to let me know in the comments.
Rob!
Rob's neutral special will be Scan. This is similar to Mewtwo's down special Disable, where Rob would send a small beam forward and will make anyone hit by it go dizzy. This is taken from the way the actual Rob robot worked in real life, where it would scan the screen in front of you for any lights or colours and do things accordingly. Rob's side special would be Stack Up. This would use the small coloured discs that Rob can hold, and one by one he would throw them forward. This can deal damage to opponents as a projectile, however, if they land on the floor, you can actually throw more on top of it to stack them up, hence the name Stack Up. All 5 Stack Up pieces would go about as high as 1.5 in-game meters, or about the size of Mario. If you have one on the floor, then if an opponent dashes over it, it would trip them up. However, once 2 or more blocks are stacked up, it would just block opponents from moving. Obviously this wall is pretty easy to jump over, but this can be used to keep your opponents on a certain part of the stage. Blocks that are stacked up will only stay for about 10 seconds before disappearing, and you'll only be able to throw them again once all of them have disappeared. Up special would be Ancient Platform. This comes from the Ancient Minister Rob seen in Super Smash Bros. Brawl Subspace Emissary, the story mode of that game. Here a Rob robot was covered in robes and would float around on this platform, dropping these whatever bomb thingy bobs. If you played Subspace you would understand what I'm all about. But basically Rob would jump onto this small platform that would appear underneath him, and it would travel straight in one direction in whatever direction you hold the stick. After that Rob would go into freefall. Down special would be Smick. This is a small Mecha Koopa-like enemy seen in the game Gyromite, one of the 2 games Rob was compatible with. Like Bowser Jr.'s Mecha Koopas, they would run around the stage and bite any opponents that they can find. However, unlike Mecha Koopas, they won't explode. They will just continue biting for a bit and then fall off. This move would normally not be able to hurt the Rob that sent them out. However, if the move gets reflected, it will be able to. Some of the ideas for Rob's new moves came from the comments. However, I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name, so sorry about that. I don't want to mess it up.
Toon Link!
Toon Link's custom specials will be based on other items he's able to use in his games. For neutral special, he would use the Skull Hammer. This move is pretty self-explanatory. The Skull Hammer is an item he can use in Wind Waker in order to bash certain objects to complete puzzles or defeat enemies. In Smash, he would be able to hit opponents in order to bury them. However, this move is pretty slow, so just be careful with it. Toon Link's side special would be Whirlwind. This is an item from Phantom Hourglass on the DS and will make Toon Link blow into this small fan, which would cause a gust of wind to travel forward. This can be a great tool for edge guarding opponents off stage, or just being annoying by pushing them around, similar to the Gust Bellows. His up special is Hurricane Spin. This is similar to his regular spin attack up special, however it would be this version seen in Wind Waker instead of just the copied version from Link. This version would spin much faster, dealing more hits and therefore more damage. However, the move would have a lot more ending and landing lag because Link would actually get a little bit dizzy after performing this move. Toon Link's down special would be the Flame Lantern. This is an item he can use in the Minish Cap and is for all intensive purposes a small flamethrower. This will cause fire to come out of the lantern to damage opponents as long as you are mashing the button. However, if you keep mashing it too much all at the same time, the move will go into cooldown.
Wolf!
Most of Wolf's custom specials actually come from Star Fox Assault, as this is the only game where Wolf has a land-based presence. His neutral special would be the Machine Gun. Working in the same way as its name implies, the machine gun would shoot bullets straight ahead as long as you're holding down the button. However, it's only able to shoot up to 4 seconds at a time, after which it'll go into cooldown for 2.5 seconds. The reason I chose the machine gun and not any other weapon from Star Fox Assault is because there's an official render with Wolf and the machine gun, so it just seemed like the obvious choice. Wolf's side special would be Wolf Burst. This is basically the same as his regular side special, however you will be actually able to angle the attack slightly forwards or backwards depending on your stick input, similar to Incineroar's up special. In exchange, the move itself actually has a shorter distance and has slightly increased landing lag. Wolf's up special would be Airwolf. This would be a 2-part kick attack that can be directed with the control stick in any direction. Basically, this is his regular up special, however it's 2 powerful hits instead of a multi-hitting attack. Wolf's down special would be the Sensor Bomb. Like the name implies, this would be a remote bomb that can be placed onto the ground, and if anyone comes near it, it would automatically explode. This is kinda similar to the proximity mine item that there is in Super Smash Bros. Already. However, this item would actually float above the ground slightly, and when someone is within range of the blast, it would actually pop up going towards that person in order to explode. This is an item used more commonly in the multiplayer mode of Star Fox Assault.
Villager!
For Villager, I wanted to use things that come from his most recent game, Animal Crossing New Horizons. However, coming up with something that can decently replace the move Pocket is actually pretty difficult. So here's what I have instead. For Villager's neutral special, he would be able to craft. Crafting is a mechanic that was introduced into the latest installment into the Animal Crossing series, and here it will basically just randomly give Villager one of 4 items. These items are a flimsy axe, a flimsy shovel, a flimsy net, and a flimsy fishing rod. When using this move, Villager will quickly craft something on the small stump-like crafting table, and it will choose one of these items. Like a regular item, you are able to hit people with it with the attack button and drop it with the grab button. However, using a side smash with these items would cause a different effect depending on what item you use. With the flimsy axe, you would swing it similar to the way Villager swings his axe in his down special. With his shovel, he would dig into the ground like his down smash. With the net, he would try and grab an opponent, dealing a little bit of damage but not actually grabbing them. And the fishing rod would work similar to Isabel's fishing rod, but it would have much shorter range and would automatically send opponents upwards, and it can't be directed in any other direction. You can use side smash with these items up to 3 times before they break, and they would automatically go away after 30 seconds. And you can only have one of these items out at a time. Villager's side special would be the pole vault. This is an item you can use in the new game in order to jump across rivers, and it will basically do the same thing here. The villager would hold a pole, stick it into the ground, and launch themselves forward, hitting enemies in the process. Don't ask me how this move would work in the air, because I don't know. We'll just call it up to smash nonsense. His up special would be the seaplane. This would have villager board a seaplane which will travel in a straight line directed by the control stick, after which the plane would explode, causing villager to go into freefall. Down special would be landscape. This would have villager dig a hole into the ground with his shovel, which would fill with water, similar to the way it works in Animal Crossing New Horizons. This water would stay around for about 15 seconds, and it can work as a kind of trap of sorts, causing people that fall in it to get stuck. It would work similar to as if you were buried, meaning half of your model is stuck in the stage, and in order to get out you have to jump out of it. So basically what I'm saying is this is another version of getting buried, but you're stuck in water and not earth. So yeah.
Mega Man!
Most of Mega Man's custom specials actually come from Super Smash Flash 2, so bear with me here. His neutral special would be the Mega Buster. This is a projectile attack that has 4 levels of charge depending on how much you charge it. There's not much to say about this one, it's literally just a projectile attack similar to like literally everything else Mega Man has. Mega Man's side special is Chain Blast, which comes from the latest Mega Man game, Mega Man 11. When using this move, Mega Man would shoot out a small ball projectile which is able to latch onto an opponent, and after a couple of seconds the ball would explode, similar to Mega Man's regular side special. However, where this move is different is that you're able to use this move more than once on the same opponent, meaning you can actually stack 3 projectiles onto a single opponent and they'll all explode at the same time, dealing a massive amount of damage, making this move quite similar to Sephiroth's side special. However, you would have to do every projectile individually, and as I said before, this comes from the newest game in the series. Mega Man's up special would be Beat Call. This would have Mega Man call Beat, a robotic bird that helps Mega Man out sometimes. Beat will pick Mega Man up and fly him into the air, and after a couple of seconds he would let go, making Mega Man go into freefall. Down special would be Water Wave. This will have Mega Man punch his gun arm into the ground and cause a torrent of water to move forward, damaging opponents as a multi-hitting attack. So anyway, that's it for this episode of Custom Specials in Smash. Again, I have to apologise for not being around for so long, but there was a number of IRL issues I had to deal with. Aside from that though, what do you think about these custom specials for these characters? Do you agree, or maybe you have your own ideas? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. But anyway, that's it for me for now, until next time, see ya.